struggle to write this because everyone keeps calling me, and honestly, I can't even really talk anymore. I'm so weak. I almost died Sunday. I was found in a pool of blood from my friend with a face injury as the days, I guess by the worst it is. I fractured my nose, lost some teeth and mobility. The way I look at life now is totally different. As my health is on the mend, my mental journey begins. Pray for me, for real. I don't even know what happened to me.
The streets of Atlanta never take a nap. Neon signs buzz. Beats pour from every corner. Gossip hung thicker than the Georgia humidity. But this time, whispers didn't tiptoe, they detonated all over social media. What started as a harmless Saturday night with friends ended with Tamar Braxton waking up in her own home, drenched in blood, teeth smashed, nose broken, and the internet screaming the same question: accident or Yandy Smith's revenge? Tamar Braxton, no stranger to cameras or chaos, was celebrating with longtime friend and media personality Funky Dineva. Dinner at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, wine sipped, selfies snapped, laughter booming was supposed to be all fun and games. Funky Dineva's birthday was meant to be light, carefree, harmless. But by the time they hit V12 Lounge on Spring Street, the vibe had shifted dramatically. Eyewitnesses claim Tamar Braxton wasn't just mingling, she was allegedly locked in with Mendy Harris, Yandy Smith's husband, or at least the man the world believes he is. Picture this. You walk into a dimly lit Atlanta lounge and see Tamar Braxton and Mendy Harris laughing too hard, sitting too close. Innocent? Or does your gut scream red flag? Witnesses didn't hold back. They say Tamar Braxton and Mendy Harris were vibing heavy, no polite chatter, no casual nod, hands brushing, laughs stretching too long, body language louder than words. And the details keep spilling, making this scandal impossible to scroll past. What started as juicy rumor quickly escalated into full-blown scandal. They allegedly left the lounge just after 1 o'clock a.m. and let's be honest, nothing in Atlanta is open at 1 o'clock a.m. but temptation never sleeps, does it? Now, imagine being Yandy Smith, the woman who's fought for her marriage on camera for years, stood by Mendy Harris through prison, cheating allegations, and endless whispers. And now, scrolling through your phone, you see your husband allegedly leaving a lounge in the dead of night with Tamar Braxton. Would you shrug it off? Or would years of simmering rage finally erupt? Hours later, Tamar Braxton drops a bomb. She wakes up in a pool of her own blood, teeth missing, nose shattered. And here's the kicker, she claims she can't remember a thing. No answers, no clarity, just pain, confusion, and silence. Meanwhile, the streets jumped in, filling the blanks faster than any PR team ever could. Because once the timeline got dissected, the story practically wrote itself. Eyewitnesses and insiders paint a chilling picture. Tamar Braxton allegedly leaves the lounge with Mendy Harris, then invites him and a group of friends to her home for an after-party. Funky Dineva even confirms he was there, admitting the crew rolled back together. The car dropped them off, and Tamar Braxton welcomed them inside. While Funky swears he didn't hang upstairs, everything else aligns perfectly with the rumors. So ask yourself, the car drops Mendy Harris at Tamar Braxton's house, and hours later she wakes up bloodied and broken. Is it really far-fetched to wonder if Yandy Smith found out? Because the so-called funny online jokes are suddenly looking terrifyingly real. The rumor mill is spinning fast. People are whispering that Yandy Smith sent goons. That revenge literally came knocking on Tamar Braxton's door, and that's why she allegedly woke up bloodied and broken. But before we get carried away, let's remember the mess already brewing in Mendy Harris and Yandy Smith's marriage. Their cracks weren't hidden, they've been visible on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta for months, bubbling under the surface, waiting for the perfect scandal to blow everything wide open. Cheating rumors have stalked Mendy Harris like a shadow he can't shake. Screenshots, leaked messages, and even Tasha K herself publicly aired him out audio clips. Receipts, women claiming alleged affairs, the whole 9 yards. When Tasha K speaks, whether you love her or hate her, the internet listens. And it wasn't just outsiders. Remember Alexis Sky going live, loudly claiming Mendy Harris had been cheating since joining the show with Yandy Smith. That rant was messy, revealing, and impossible to ignore. Alexis later apologized, but the seed was planted. Trust in Mendy Harris is already fractured. And Yandy Smith herself admitted she had formed an emotional connection with a London fitness trainer. Proof her marriage was fragile, complicated, and teetering on the edge. Now, throw Tamar Braxton into the mix, a woman the public already sees as fiery, dramatic, and unafraid of chaos, and you've got a scandal cocktail ready to explode. On one side, eyewitnesses, bloggers, and timelines paint a picture of Tamar Braxton and Mendy Harris creeping, vibing, maybe crossing lines they shouldn't. On the other side, a screenshot circulates claiming Mendy Harris was only around Tamar Braxton for professional reasons, allegedly cast in her upcoming visual project. Even Funky Geneva has a cameo, swearing nothing messy went down. But in a story this twisted, can anyone really separate work from scandal? The story insists it's all business, but if that's true, why is the internet literally on fire? Nobody is buying the professional collaboration excuse, and for good reason. Let's be real. When those visuals drop and Mendy Harris is nowhere to be seen, the cover story crumbles instantly, leaving fans to smell what it really is: convenient, too clean fiction. So the question lingers. Was this a business project gone sideways, or the spark of an affair that pushed Yandy Smith to her breaking point? And if Yandy Smith did snap, if her loyalty finally curdled into vengeance, is that how Tamar Braxton woke up bloodied and broken? Funky Geneva even admitted he got a text from Tamar Braxton the next morning, 10:00 a.m. Not a meme, not a casual good morning, a text asking for a dentist's phone number, a doctor, after a night of chaos. At the time, he didn't think much of it, but hindsight is sharp, isn't it? Why would Tamar Braxton need a dentist first thing in the morning if nothing violent had occurred? That's Atlanta for you, a city where secrets don't exist. Everyone knows someone, and everyone talks. When a woman like Tamar Braxton is spotted with a man like Mendy Harris, the story doesn't stay in the V12 lounge. It doesn't stay behind closed doors. It leaks, spreads, and grows into something bigger than anyone planned. Suddenly, people aren't just asking what happened to Tamar Braxton, they're asking who made it happen. So let me put it to you straight. If you were Yandy Smith, standing by a man accused of cheating time and again, how much would you tolerate before the boiling point finally hit? The humiliation is almost too much to imagine. Seeing your husband allegedly leave a lounge with Tamar Braxton, would you brush it off, or finally do what cameras could never catch? Fight back. And this, my friends, is just the opening act. Receipts are messy, timelines don't lie, and the streets of Atlanta, they're telling a story too wild to ignore. Let's not forget this isn't Mendy Harris's first rodeo. The internet is flooded with receipts, Tasha K calling him out, with alleged screenshots, audio clips, and claims from women saying they were involved. And when Tasha K speaks, whether you love her or hate her, the world listens. Then there's Alexis Sky's friend, Liv on Instagram, loud, unapologetic, declaring Mendy Harris has been cheating since day one. Alexis later apologized, but the damage was done, the narrative cemented. Mendy Harris cannot be trusted. And yet, Yandy Smith stood by him through prison, scandals, and tears on reunion stages. But everyone has a limit. Everyone has a breaking point. The streets are convinced Tamar Braxton stumbled right into Yandy Smith's moment of no return. Now, picture that night at Tamar Braxton's house. Club laughter still hanging in the air, after-party energy buzzing. Maybe Mendy Harris was there. Maybe not. Eyewitnesses differ. But one truth is undeniable. Tamar Braxton went to bed in one piece and woke up shattered, blood on the sheets, teeth missing, nose broken, with zero explanation. If this were a simple accident, wouldn't she have cleared Mendy Harris's name by now? Reassured fans? Shut the gossip down? Silence. A silence louder than any words. And then, of course, comes the so-called cover-up. A screenshot has gone viral, claiming Mendy Harris wasn't creeping with Tamar Braxton at all, that he was only around because he was cast in her upcoming visuals project. Even Funky Geneva supposedly had a cameo. Everything at the club and after party. Strictly professional. Convenient, right? Too convenient. Because if Tamar Braxton, one of the most flamboyant and outspoken women in entertainment, was secretly working on a visuals project with Mendy Harris, then where's the promo? Where's the teaser? And why does the timeline of this professional shoot line up perfectly with the night she ended up bloodied and broken? Let's be real. The visuals excuse might play for a moment, but fans are watching. If Tamar Braxton drops new content and Mendy Harris is nowhere to be seen, the story collapses instantly. Why cover up? Why lie? Unless there's something deeper, uglier, something the cameras weren't meant to catch. And here's the kicker. Funky Geneva admitted that the next morning, Tamar Braxton texted him asking for a dentist, not a funny meme, not a crazy night joke, but a desperate plea for help after a night that left her broken. That's not a normal hangout. That's the aftermath of violence.so. Who did it? Was it random? Did she fall? Or did someone make sure she paid for stepping into the wrong orbit? Fans keep circling back to Yandy Smith. If you've followed her journey, you know she doesn't play about her marriage, at least publicly. Cameras have never caught her putting hands on another woman, but the streets don't buy that for a second. Push her too far, and she might snap. And now social media has turned the Yandy Smith revenge theory in. Memes of Tamar Braxton flood the internet. Captions screaming, "Don't mess with another woman's husband." Comments asking if Yandy Smith's cousin Keisha showed up. People laughing, retweeting, posting as if domestic violence is a joke. But beneath the humor lies a brutal truth. Tamar Braxton is hurt. She's scared. She woke up with her face rearranged. And that's not comedy, that's trauma. Let's not forget Tamar Braxton's own turbulent history. Since her breakup with Vince, her life has been a roller coaster. Public feuds, mental health struggles, career missteps. Chaos is familiar to her. But this was different. This was physical, bloody, and it connects directly to a man whose marriage is already on the rocks. Fans are left piecing together three possible truths. 1. Tamar Braxton and Mendy Harris were creeping, spotted at the club, left together, and Yandy Smith or someone close made her pay. 2. It was strictly business, a professional project blown out of proportion, and her accident was just that, an accident. 3. A messy mix, work, vibes getting too close, and someone, whether Yandy Smith, a jealous fan, or Tamar Braxton's own choices, turned the night into a nightmare. And here's what keeps everyone glued. Tamar Braxton hasn't cleared the air. No denials about Mendy Harris. No calls to Yandy Smith. No explanations beyond that haunting image of blood and broken teeth. Silence in Atlanta streets this loud is damning. Let's be honest, when the city is whispering, leaking, sharing, and judging, saying nothing is practically a confession. And the internet is watching, waiting, and speculating like never before. Tamar Braxton thrives on attention. She loves being the center of every conversation. If this were truly innocent, wouldn't she be on Instagram Live, clapping back, dragging blogs, clearing her name? Instead, silence. And that silence only convinces fans the worst. Meanwhile, Yandy Smith stays strategic. No meltdown, no posts, just quiet. Silence can protect, but it can also suggest guilt. And Mendy Harris? Classic. Quiet, admitting nothing, letting the women around him fight the fire he ignites. Isn't that peak Mendy Harris behavior? So here we are. Tamar Braxton's face broken. Yandy Smith's name trending. Mendy Harris standing in the middle. Funky Geneva dragged into the chaos. Tasha K smirking from the sidelines, knowing she called this mess years ago. And fans are left with one relentless question. Did Tamar Braxton really cross the line with Mendy Harris? Did Yandy Smith make sure she paid? One thing is clear, this wasn't a simple night out. This was a collision of egos, secrets, love, and betrayal. The blood on Tamar Braxton's sheets proves it went far beyond an accident. And imagine being Tamar Braxton, waking up broken, teeth missing, nose shattered. Would you really call it an accident? Or would you know someone wanted to send a message? By sunrise, Atlanta had erupted. Hashtags trended. Screenshots went viral. Fans dissected every moment like detectives on a high-profile case. At the center of it all, three names: Tamar Braxton, Mendy Harris, and Yandy Smith. Scroll Twitter that morning, and it was chaos, jokes, memes, and the relentless question: what really happened that night? Photos captioned with Yandy Smith's name flooded social media. Cruel? Messy? Absolutely. Viral? Without a doubt. In the love and hip-hop universe, pain is entertainment and scandal is content. But this story turned darker. Fans weren't just laughing, they wanted answers. Where's the footage? Who was at that house? Why hasn't Tamar Braxton spoken? And the loudest question of all, why is Yandy Smith so quiet? Tamar Braxton had every chance to clear her name, shut down the rumors, tell her side, but instead, silence. No Instagram live, no lengthy caption, just eerie quiet. For someone who built a career on speaking loud, clapping back, and always having the last word, that silence screamed louder than any denial ever could. Fans started digging and found old clips of Tamar Braxton laughing about messy situations, admitting she loved attention, hinting that trouble seemed to follow her. Suddenly, the narrative shifted. Was she a victim, or had she been playing with fire until she got burned? Meanwhile, Mendy Harris stayed in his usual lane ghost mode. No posts, no statements, no explanations. A pattern emerges. He lets storms rage while women like Yandy Smith, Tamar Braxton, and bloggers take the hits. And maybe that's the biggest scandal of all. Yandy Smith's silence wasn't passive. It was strategic. No denials, no confirmations, just a curated Instagram feed of family, business, and positivity, as if her husband's name wasn't being dragged through the mud. Fans saw it for what it was: precision. The woman who doesn't argue, doesn't rant, she moves quietly, effectively, eliminating the chaos herself. But could it really be Yandy Smith? That's the million-dollar question. Some fans swear they saw her cousin Keisha's name floating around the so-called enforcer. The muscle, the one you call when words don't cut deep enough. Did cousin Keisha show up, handle business while Yandy Smith kept her hands clean? No proof. No receipts, just whispers. But whispers are enough when the streets already believe you're capable. Meanwhile, bloggers like Tasha K sat back, smirking as her name trended again. She had already called out Mendy Harris months ago, dropped the receipts, and now with Tamar Braxton in headlines, her warnings looked more real than ever. And Funky Deneva, suddenly at the center of a storm he never signed up for. His birthday celebration, dinner, club night, and after party suddenly made him the most credible witness, thanks to a single text from Tamar Braxton asking for a dentist the next morning. But here's the part nobody wants to talk about. Tamar Braxton's accident isn't just a scandal, it's a tragedy. A woman woke up in her home, broken, injured, traumatized, and instead of compassion, the world laughed. Memes went viral. Jokes flooded social media. Maybe the real story isn't whether Yandy Smith sent goons or if Mendy Harris cheated, but how quickly black women's pain becomes entertainment, how fast we mock joke, and forget that behind the headlines is a human being bleeding on her own sheets. Fans are desperate for answers. Did Tamar Braxton cross the line? Did Yandy Smith retaliate? Is Mendy Harris guilty? The truth? Maybe we'll never know. Maybe Tamar Braxton will never speak. Yandy Smith never confess. Mendy Harris never admit it. And maybe that's why this story won't die. Unsolved scandals live forever. What we do know, Tamar Braxton, a woman whose career has been a roller coaster of triumph and tragedy, now scarred physically and emotionally. Mendy Harris, a man thriving in silence while chaos erupts. Yandy Smith, a wife, mother, and boss painted by the streets as both victim and villain. Funky Deneva, dragged unwillingly into the drama. Tasha K, watching from the sidelines knowing she warned us all along. And millions of fans dissecting timelines, debating theories, refreshing feeds. Because in Atlanta, the story itself is entertainment. And one thing is certain, the streets don't lie, they just wait for the truth to slip out. And when it does, the world won't be ready.